Tricia Andreassen with Creative Life Publishing and Learning Institute. I don't even know where to start, Tricia.
Yeah, she is packed full of.
Wayne either.
If you talk about a website, I could have read that all night long. I think. I mean, you do everything. You're an author.
And she's good at it.
You're a speaker. You're a coach. And you just published a new book, did you not?
I did.
Do you want to tell us about that first, or where do you want to start?
She's bright and bubbly and cheery and happy, which is much better than you in the morning.
I think she's a people person. I might be wrong.
Well, you know what? When you love what you do, it's easy to get up in the morning and get very excited about things. So I wrote a book about being resilient and growing your resilience in challenging times and coming through the other side stronger. So that
I had to learn resilience when I started co-hosting with Joe.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, with the bell, man. Come on, that didn't deserve
I've worked with Joe too.
Do you address that in the book?
Actually, I do. It's more of a book with journal, and I interviewed people from all walks of life, from 7 generations, all the way from a teenager who was bullied in 6th grade and how he dealt with that, to a senior who, during the writing process, actually lost her sight and was in a wheelchair.
Wow.
And how the process of writing that helped her overcome that. And now her whole life purpose has changed. She worked in business, and now she realizes that she can be an advocate for people who are in rehab or in with families with hospice care. So her whole vision has changed just out of saying yes to that book and writing her story. She'd never written anything before.
Let me make sure that people listening, and Wayne, you understand this. This is not just a warm, fuzzy woman. This is a woman, I met her because I helped her sell the largest website, I guess, assistant for real estate agents, probably in the country, at least in the Southeast, and she sold it too.
Internationally, we had 50% of our clients were listed on the Wall Street Journal and in Real Trends. So a lot of my clients did over 1,000 transactions a year.
Yeah, this is no joke. She built one heck of a business. There was a hosting piece to it as well, and she sold that piece of her business to one of the largest hosting companies in the country, out of Canada, I should say. So this is a sharp businesswoman that is speaking from real experience. So this isn't just fluff here. Well, is that a fair statement to say, Tricia? Can I?
It is, Joe, and I will tell you. You remember that day? I remember I was in the passenger seat of my Yukon XL when I called you, and I was referred to you by Mike Bongiovanni, who had been my financial friend for years.
Sharp guy.
And I told you that I felt like I had a larger calling on my life. And so that is my purpose now, is to help people unlock that inner warrior within them. They have a job, they may have a career, or they have a calling to be an entrepreneur. They may be a coach like Wayne right now and saying, hey, how do I get my message out? How can I influence more and more people? And there's a strength that lies within every one of us that allows us to take this and evangelize to more people. And that's the purpose of it.
Tricia, can you explain for people listening, how they might recognize that they could use your help? In other words, I hear what you do, but how do they recognize in themselves that, hey, I could use Tricia for that?
Last night I had a coach call me, and she's a business coach. She's actually a John Maxwell leadership coach and is very strong in leadership. And she said, Trish, I have a real hard time figuring out how to develop my message and get it to connect with people, get coaching clients, do a mastermind, do a live event. She says, and I'm weak on the marketing side. So I believe that I'm very faith-driven. I really believe that God puts people in certain chapters of their life to learn. And so my marketing background and my branding background and my lead generation background has now been able to help coaches develop their message more effectively. My strength is that if you are strong in delivering a message of some kind in your normal business practice, let's just say your CPA that gave those amazing tips, he may have formulas that most accountants have, but I guarantee you, just like our little pinky where we have a different fingerprint, there is a message inside of him that has recipeed how to make his clients more successful. And that's what I tap into and bring out for every single client, whether they own a business or whether they have a story within them. And I can tell you right now, every single one of y'all sitting in front of me have a story that can be shared, that can change a person's life. So that's my big why. So I combine those strategies together
Tricia,
to get the message out.
I changed Wayne's life. I'm sure of that.
Oh, boy, did you change my life. Yeah, I think you shortened it about 10 years.
Of course, she meant positive. No, I wasn't speaking that way. Okay.
Yeah.
You might need her after this.
I'm going to need somebody.
I help find the heartbeat of your business.
There you go.
There we go.
Great. Talk a little bit
Joe's
about
got one.
Talk about the book a little bit more in detail. I'm on your website now. You've actually written 3 books.
Three
Yep.
bestsellers.
Yeah.
I have another one in production right now, and then I have a novel in production, and my goal is for that to be a movie. Everything that I write has to align with touching someone's life in a powerful way.
I've told people that it's not. I don't want to call it easy to write a book. There's a lot of time put into it, but there is so much value in it. Talk about that, because I tell small business people all the time, if you want to really be this credible expert and perfect what you do, because it is sort of this, once you start to put it on paper, you got to kind of perfect what you do. It really is a wonderful experience. Talk about that so that people that are listening are thinking about writing a book. Go through that process, because you've done it enough times that you see the value in it.
Well, step one is realizing that you can release that you may not know how to write a book, but if you reach out to someone like me, I've actually put compilations together where Wayne might have something for business, and then Joe, you may have something from business from another perspective, and then Chris may have something about PR that's business. And that's one step that you can be a part of the process, right?
Right.
Even Dana. And so the second part is knowing that you can have a book written. You don't have to sit down and write the book. I actually have people who will interview and write the process. I have a gentleman right now who dribbled across the United States, y'all, and ran. And his whole mission is he started a nonprofit organization to race and marathons in memory of people who have passed away like cancer and raise money. So he wants to write a book. Okay, Coop, I've been his best friend for 18 years. He doesn't write, so we're going to interview him.
Right.
That's the secret, is knowing that, just being willing to commit.
First of all, Tricia, it's important that you know Chris is here running the board, but we ignore him at all costs. You understand? Don't try and engage him, because there's no telling what's coming back out at you.
Even though he tells us we might have to end our show at some time.
That's what I love about Wizards Behind the Curtain, though. They all have a story.
That's what he is.
Incidentally, you talk about ministries and how easy authoring books are. Well, Joe's book was written by a minister, as I recall.
Yeah, absolutely. What you described is exactly what happened to me. I was in the car with my buddy who's a Baptist minister, and I said to him, I always wanted to be able to write a book. And he said, well, let's just do it.
Awesome.
Wasn't it awesome? I don't think he realized the gift that he gave me was that moment.
Yes.
And I literally went back that day. I had in my dresser a cigar box of a bunch of notes that I would just take on different ideas or topics or thoughts, and they became the chapters in my book. And I literally wrote the book, handed it to him, and we sat in his office for 6 months every other day, and he literally rewrote that book for me with my thoughts in mind. And there are people out there that will help you do that.
I have chills in that. And what I do different is a lot of times publishers just say, hey, voila, here's your book, go on Amazon, here's all the distribution channels. What I do, though, is I take my marketing experience and PR experience and I evangelize along. I stayed up for 36 hours, I know I'm a wacko, watching my authors hit #1. I invested in them. I'm not going to the masses. It's all about quality for me. And I want them to learn how to take this message and evangelize it to radio, to TV, to blogs, to whatever channel that is possible, because it's when they get that in front of them, it changes lives.
You want to take a break? Do we need a break?
We don't need a
Oh,
break.
we don't need a break. We good? Okay.
We've done
well,
a
Chris
break.
was giving me that look. He was giving me a look because he was mad that I was even including him in the
Because
conversation.
then you
just
just
trying
X'd me out of it, even though I have the button to turn your mic off.
I think now's the time.
So Tricia, I'm on your website, and like Wayne said, there's so many things that you do.
Yes.
How do you get up in the morning and focus on one of them? How do you choose which one to do?
I am extremely intentional. My mission statement is every morning I wake up with a vision of touching at least 1 million lives in my lifetime. That sounds very big. It is. So everything that I do is very intentional of pouring into the hearts of people. Whether it's you, Joe, that says, hey, Trish, I want to expand my business brokerage. Do you have any ideas? Well, I pour into that because I know then you're going to touch someone like me who may be able to move into another space. I work on coaches and classes, but when you're very intentional of what your outcome is, it's easy to say yes or no to the activities that you put forth, and that's how I get things done. I also wake up very early because I do take the time for stillness and making sure that I'm doing the activities that are set forth, and I bring that to my high-level coaches and CEOs because I'm a coach's coach or work with CEOs on that.
So she said something about time for silence. What was that statement? I just missed that.
Still time.
Still time.
Stillness.
I like that.
It's very critical because intuition is a part of the process. So I want to actually leave on that note today that if you're not taking at least 30 minutes with your phone turned off and with a journal, whether you're a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter. You need to start really honing in to what your inner voice is telling you, because that can give you clarity of what next season you could be coming upon or where you need to fine tune.
Yeah, I knew you'd jump on that because remember we had one of the items of the article we wrote was talking about de-stressing and getting out of your own head, and that's
yes.
partly what you're talking about here. So it fits.
Still time.
It must
Do I
be
got
right.
that? Do I got that right?
Stillness.
I'm laughing because you wouldn't
stillness.
understand that.
It sounds pleasant. I've never actually done it, but it sounds pleasant. I got my pleasant place. Every man needs a pleasant place. Thank you so much.
Thank you.